and comments expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers on Beyond the Headlines are not necessarily those of management, ownership, or production unit of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is a production of ILTV Studios and cannot be reproduced or represented in part or entirety without express written permission of the Verizon Media Group. Beyond the Headlines is the intellectual property of the Verizon Media Group. Copyright 2021.
Coming up tonight, after 2 robberies, the vendors who were once stationed at the water tower are getting resolution. Well, the Antiquities, Monuments and Museum Corporation stepped in today. We hear what they had to say. Also tonight, it's been more than 24 hours since the Free National Movement announced its latest slate of candidates. So how are the ratifications settling in with you? We take a look. And later tonight, BTC's executive team is responding to yesterday's union protest. So what are they saying to the allegations of poor working conditions and more? We find out. This is Beyond the Headlines. Good evening. I'm Shanique Miller. It's great to have you along this evening. Well, this just in before we start, Eyewitness News understands a police or prison bus collided with a vehicle near the Sydney-Poitiers Bridge. It remains unclear if and how many persons have been transported to hospital. This is a story that we are continuing to follow at this hour, and once we get any more information, as you can see on the screen, there is an ambulance on scene, several police vehicles. That police bus, as you know, transports prisoners to and from the prison to court and then obviously back. And it goes at high speeds. You look at the door, the driver's door, it appears it's kind of smashed in. And so it really looks like a serious accident there. And so, of course, we will see exactly if there were injuries and hopefully just minor injuries. And certainly, of course, we will continue to follow that. Those photos, of course, are from the police bus accident that happened near the bridge just a short while ago. Now, we're going to start right there this evening, and we're going to talk about this sort of a lack of regard for emergency response vehicles. When we hear a siren, oftentimes it takes us so long to pull over and do what is necessary. Bahamian drivers are just distracted, really, quite frankly, these days. And we're going to talk about that, sort of the lack of regard for when you hear a siren to quickly pull over as quickly as you can or just stop and just get off the road. I want to bring my panelists in to talk about that because it's something that you notice. You can't miss it oftentimes. Sometimes you want to scream at the person that you see trying to outdrive in terms of speed the emergency response vehicle trying to make its way through traffic. And you know, sometimes you want to say, do you not hear the siren? Just pull to the side. We're going to talk about that and begin our show right there this evening. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. Contributors, Cassia Stewart, Ellington Ferguson, and Glenn Roy Pratt. Good evening to each of you.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
How disturbing is that scene? We saw those photographs a moment ago there near the bridge earlier this evening. In fact, after 7 this evening, we saw that it took place. How disturbing is it, especially when we know our driving habits on the streets of the capital?
Shanique, let's start with the incident, and I hope that everybody's okay. My heart goes out to them. I hope there's no real serious injuries or anything of that sort. I've been observing that for some time. And I think there ought to be caution on all sides. While the officers are transporting those people, I observe those big vehicles, those big prison bus, sometimes those big school bus, and sometimes the Nissan bus or Toyota, as this one appears to be. The rate of speed with a bus full of people, I think sometimes they be going too fast. Yes, put your sirens on, hurry up, get those prisoners there. But I think with those buses loaded with prisoners, I think they be going too fast, weaving in and out of the traffic sometime. That part. Now, as you mentioned about people not giving regard, that is an aspect of it. That is not the full story of it as it relates to how Bahamians relate to sirens. There's a multiple of situations. Number one is the way we build roads. There is no way to pull off to start with. I think there needs to be more education to people. I watch people, sometimes I'm on the light, sometimes I'm there at Government House and Blue Hill Road, that intersection. And so people will hear a siren coming and they will just sit there because their light is on red. And so the siren is behind them. So they're waiting for this car to get through.
They don't know what to do.
How is it going? They don't know what to do. I think people need to be taught. You ought to, because the other car coming from the other direction who now has the right of way, has the green light, may not always hear the siren. Some of these sirens, you don't hear it until it get right up on you. So you ought to carefully try to ease your way out so the traffic can flow a little bit so that the emergency vehicle, be it a police or ambulance or fire engine, can make their way through. Because you staying right there, everything is stuck. So sometimes you got to make your way ahead a bit until you can ease off the road or clear a lane at least so that the people, so it takes some understanding of these things to know what to do. And I've observed a lot of it on the road. I've seen it later in the day. Myself, I'm riding. There's two cars in front of me, so I drop back so the car, the patrol car, would have a little space to maneuver. But the two cars, one was slightly in front of the other, so the one that was behind, he's there, and the one that was slightly in front, he just stopped and slowed down right on the side of the other car. Where's the patrol car going?
Almost in the middle of the road.
Exactly.
And we know our roads are only yay big.
Some common sense to understand what to do, how to safely move ahead and move to the side.
Glenroy?
Yes, good evening, Janine, good evening, Bahamas. I totally agree with what Ellington stated a few moments ago. There is a reality that the sidewalks are sometimes much bigger than the actual tire of your car. You know, you can't maneuver so easily as expected to do so, especially considering the rate of speed that sometimes when you're looking in your rearview mirror that some of the officers are going with. Obviously, we understand the importance of them getting where they need to go, but there's a reality of how our roads are that impedes our ability to pull over on the sides as properly as we think that we should. You know, so we just have to have some due care and attention. We also have to pay attention to our rearview mirrors at times as well, because there are times that people are in the vehicles oblivious to their environment. They have sometimes the music blasting and so on that they can't even hear when a ambulance or a police vehicle is coming in their direction.
Exactly.
And as a result, they
and
can't
driving,
maneuver in a way that
let's
will
not forget driving
help
with
the traffic.
AirPods and whatnot in.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. You know, so there's a responsibility on the citizenry part as well. But quite frankly, as Ellington stated, the roads are not built in a way that allows the free egress of individuals as needs to happen in an emergency situation.
Well, before Cassia steps in, this is just in from the police. Police are investigating a traffic accident on East Bay Street involving a prison escort transport and 7 males and 2 transport with 7 males and 2 female inmates. As a result of the accident, 2 police officers, 2 female inmates, and a civilian, the driver of the other vehicle in the accident, were injured. They were taken to the hospital for medical treatment. All of the inmates are accounted for. That is from the police just a minute ago, and said no word of the extent to their injuries, but that is from the police just a moment ago.
Well, thank God nobody was seriously hurt. I know there were probably minor injuries, but, you know, Ellington and Glenroy said it all. I mean, I think, you know, it speaks to a broader issue too, though. I mean, while we don't have respect for the police and the sirens, people don't seem to have respect for police at all in general. And so, you know, that gives me even greater concern because, you know, time after time you would see TikToks where these guys trying to challenge the police officers or stand up in the face of police officers. And we seem to have a disrespect for law and order. No country can survive when there's a disrespect for law and order. We need to make sure to maintain law and order at all times, whether it's the police pulling, asking you to pull over or the police asking you to do something. And so we see our young people always, because they think they have a phone, they could disrespect a police officer and I got you on camera. You know, we have to set the rules right in the country that, listen, if you violate the law, you will feel the penalty of violating the law. If you disrespect a police officer, you will feel the penalty of disrespecting our police officers. because the police officer protects us. Those same people who run and fight the police officers, when they're in trouble, guess who they can call?
The police.
The police officer. And so we have to make sure that our police officers are protected and respected. And so for me, I'm a proponent of making sure that everybody who wears their uniforms, they are respected.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, I agree 100%. Gentlemen, as the Fort Charlotte vendors agitate for compensation and assistance after their stalls were allegedly robbed twice, according to information made available to the Eyewitness Newsroom, officials from the Antiquities, Monuments and Museum Corporation are responding to their concerns tonight. Delano Roca has the story.
Following vendors on Fort Charlotte's claims of significant financial losses as a result of theft, Antiquities, Monuments and Museums Corporation Director Don Cornish sharing the corporation was not informed of the theft by vendors.
They also didn't tell me they lost $30,000. I read it in the newspapers. And nobody wanted to come to AMMC to speak with us about the alleged theft. I'm yet to have been addressed by any of those individuals as the director.
Cornish addressing efforts of law enforcement.
Claims that have been made have all been investigated by our security. In most instances, the vendors elected not to cooperate with the police or not to give the police any opportunity to investigate properly.
The director emphasized that vendors were informed before the relocation that they were responsible for the security and safety of their personal inventory.
So all vendors were notified, as was the Strong Market Authority, as was our security, as were the compliance officers from the Strong Market Authority who were there. There are 2 there every day, as was our management team, which has been doubled because all the management from Fort Fincastle and Fort Charlotte, as was all the persons involved, including the police. So any vendor who took the risk of leaving items there leaves the items at their own risk.
With claims and counterclaims mounting, when asked whether the museum could be held accountable for the losses, Cornish says,
they said stuffed toys and some jewelry in the area of $30,000. That's sufficient to me for a criminal investigation to take place. The police have come. They have not given the report as yet, so I have to believe that the process will bear itself out. But the National Museum can't take responsibility for that.
At this stage, AAMC maintains that it met its obligations and acted within authority, and that any claims of loss must be addressed through proper legal channels. Vendors, for their part, continue to seek answers and accountability. Delano Roker, Eyewitness News.
Well, I mean, that's pretty strange because I'll tell you, we reported on this before when it initially happened and reportedly initially happened. And of course, we all want those vendors to be able to make a living and operate successfully in their temporary location. Because as you gentlemen know, there is work still ongoing at the water tower.
Yes,
and because of safety reasons, they cannot be there. And of course, the stalls that they once occupied are also being renovated.
Right.
But I mean, I don't understand why not be able to give the police a report though, or reportedly.
Well, Shanique, I guess in the absence of proper invoicing as to account for this $30,000 worth of loss, the report can't go no further. And so I guess that's what is being alluded to there as it relates to not cooperating.
So what you saying, they lying? You say they lying?
I got to wait on the police report, yes. I got to wait on the police report.
I won't know because, I mean, in the absence of, I mean, you got to speak clear. Are they lying to the police or are they lying so they get the $30,000 or not?
I guess it's just a matter of time for them to produce invoicing to substantiate $30,000 worth of
But
goods.
listen,
So give them a little time.
$30,000 for the stuffed toys sound like 2 40-foot containers to me.
Yeah, sound like down the hill at the carnival right there.
Yeah, I know. But
So
that's suspect.
I'm sorry for whatever loss that they have got. The chairman said that they told them that they're not accountable. They should have probably been taking their stuff home with them.
Is it fair though, because it seems as though they were able to lock their goods up in the stalls that they occupied at the water tower? Is it fair to ask them day and night in the morning to bring those stuff there, outfit their tents, and then in the evening break it down and take it back home?
Shanique, one minute. When you're dealing with a situation where you have to relocate from your original location where you had more security, it was properly locked, and you're dealing with a temporary situation, you got to kind of accommodate that temporary situation and not expect to be able to leave it as you would in your normal place that was more probably secured. And unfortunately,
a security guard costs between $4 to $8 an hour. All of them out there working, they could put up and say, listen, ask the corporation to, I guess, help out, but they could put up and pay for security to watch their supplies. That's their money, that's their inventory, that's their investment. So if they don't see the need then to secure it, the government say, listen, you here at your own risk, then you got to secure your own stuff. And so if you cannot meet the full obligation, then say to the ministry, listen, we need to be able to pay for security. We'll pay half, you pay half. Meet me halfway. But you got to be able to show that you're responsible for your own supplies as well too, because that is your inventory, and the government say, listen, we are not responsible for watching your stuff. But say, listen, okay, I understand that. We'll put half for the security and you put half, and let's meet halfway. I mean, the problem solved.
Glenroy, is it that simple?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and the reality is it's your responsibility to take care of the things that you value most, right? We can't expect always to have the individuals take care of our things and watch over it. I mean, you have a wonderful police staff association that actually provide security services as well that could have been utilized in that instance. Pay the necessary amount of monies. I mean, you already have an opportunity to show your wares and sell them in an environment that can probably cause you to generate more revenue. I understand the reality of having to move stuff back and forth. It's a burdensome task, and I get that. But there's the reality of how much does this thing value to you? I mean, and we won't leave our homes just open up, our cars just open up because of the value that we have in those things. I mean, so if you have inventory of such enormous amount in terms of value, then it behooves you to have some security measures in place to prevent theft, losses, or anything of the sort.
Yeah. Gentlemen, I guess it's as simple as that. Of course, we were following late last week the progress for an update for you of the water tower project. I think it's still ongoing. A few things that still need, I guess, completion. And once that happens, I mean, we'd be happy to update our viewers on that. And I know those vendors will be happy to get back to some semblance of normalcy for them. But listen, we're just getting started tonight. When we come back, it's been a little over 24 hours since the Free National Movement made public its latest tranche of candidates. What are your thoughts? We're going to talk about it after the break.
Have you heard about Janae's Chesapeake Road's 5 days of Christmas give back? Get up to 20% off your toys or bicycles, electronic ride-on cars, four-wheelers, and motor tricycle purchases. All electrical item sales are final. Bring in a current year Janae's back-to-school purchase receipt, valued more than $50 excluding VAT, and get an additional 10% off. Restrictions apply. And don't forget the Christmas decorations, balls, and ornaments. Janae's Chesapeake Road's 5 days of Christmas give back going on now. Extended store hours till 7 p.m. Hurry in and get more bang for your bucks.
Rejuvenate, refresh, treat yourself. Immerse yourself in total comfort. Pamper yourself. After all, you're worth it. Relax. Rid yourself of all life's stresses. At Baja Retreat Anti-Aging Spa, you will find everything you need to enhance your body and spirit. Call today at 323-6711 and begin your journey to serenity at Baja Retreat Anti-Aging Spa.
Welcome to Sunburst Super Christmas Sale, where you buy 5 and get 1 free. Prices start at just $28.95 for top quality wall paints and high gloss oil paints for $55.95 a gallon. Lucky customers get a chance to win a 42-inch TV every Saturday starting now. The drawing will take place at Sunburst Paints the first week of December. You can also have a chance to win one of 2 65-inch TVs during the month of December. So hurry on down to Sunburst Paints on Harold Road, where you buy 5 and get 1 free. Happy holidays, everybody!
Very dry, tight, sensitive skin? Relieve it in 60 seconds with Aveeno Skin Relief. With soothing triple oat complex, clinically proven to heal and strengthen dry skin. Aveeno, your skin stronger.
Don't let diarrhea steal your sunshine. Imodium Multi-Symptom Relief gets to work fast in just 1 hour, offering our most complete relief from diarrhea, bloating, gas, and cramps. So you can get diarrhea off your mind. Imodium. Calm the chaos of diarrhea.
At the Water and Sewage Corporation, safety and convenience are our top priorities. However, our meter readers face challenges that can make their job difficult. Locked gates to guard dogs sometimes leads to missed readings and estimated bills, which can be frustrating for you and us. That's why we're upgrading to digital meters. They bring safety, accuracy, and convenience to homes across the Bahamas. We can streamline data collection, reduce on-site visits, and provide more accurate bills with no more estimates. Digital meters also help detect leaks early, saving you from costly bills and reducing water waste. Soon, a user-friendly app will let you track your water usage, manage bills, and stay informed, all at your fingertips. Over the next year, we're rolling out digital meters nationwide, transforming how we serve you with a safer and cost-efficient water supply. To learn about our digital meters, visit our website or call us today. And don't forget to update your information at any of our locations.
Welcome to Paradise Games, where exceptional service meets the ultimate gaming experience. Our dedicated team is here to make every visit a win.
Now this is paradise.
This is more than just a place to play.
Now this is paradise.
It's where excitement meets world-class service.
Now this is paradise.
Now this is paradise.
Come, experience it for yourself. Now this is paradise.
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. One 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. There's growing political chatter tonight after the Free National Movement unveiled its third slate of ratified candidates as the party continues to lock in its lineup ahead of the next general election. Stirring debate, several ratified candidates are not returning to the constituencies where their political journeys began, raising questions about strategy, strength, and the message being sent to voters. Jose Etienne has the story, and then we come back and talk about it.
All Free National Movement members of parliament in both the lower and the upper house have complied with the law and reported on time, disclosed on time. We're confident that's not the case with the Progressive Liberal Party, and you should ask the Prime Minister which of his members in the lower and the upper house did not disclose on time or at all. I think he ought to share that message. As you know, the law requires that either he or I can lay it in the House of Assembly or report it to the Attorney General or police if necessary. And I believe they ought to do so. They have the holiday season to mull it over as an organization and decide on what they're going to do. And then we'll be back in the House at the beginning of the year. I intend, and it's my hope that they would have resolved the matter by then.
Leader Michael Pintard speaking about the public disclosure and people still outstanding. Of course, it is the law that elected members of parliament, I believe senators as well, that they disclose their net worths so we could track it and see what's going on. But he's saying many people are still outstanding. But first, though, here's that story from Jose Etienne on the Free National Movement's newly ratified candidates.
We believe that a Heather Hunt and Elizabeth was a formidable matchup, and she will win.
Sands speaking to Eyewitness News moments after he was ratified as the FNM's candidate for Bamboo Town.
I find myself now seated right in the heart of the very important corridor where all things must happen.
He now joins Travis Robinson as a former member of parliament seeking a return to frontline politics, but not in the same constituencies where they suffered defeat in the 2021 general election. While some political observers suggest this signals a lack of fortitude in the face of pressure, FNM leader Michael Pintard is dismissing that criticism.
Dr. Davel was in Grand Bahama. He's now here in New Providence. And so at the end of the day, teams look at the board and determine who's best suited where.
Sands' ratification has also reignited questions about the future of former MP Renwood Wells within the party. The Constituency Association was left outraged after it was revealed that Wells would not receive the party's nomination, despite having held the seat from 2012 to 2021, including a period after crossing the floor in 2015. The issue is compounded by the fact that Wells has been seeking a return to frontline politics under the Pintard-led FNM, despite publicly supporting former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis during the party's 2024 convention.
We look forward to his continued participation. There is a role for Renwood Wells in the Free National Movement at a very high level.
Turning now to Central Grand Bahama, long considered FNM territory. Local government veteran and educator Frasiette Gibson received the party's nod, with the Constituency Association saying it believes she is well positioned to reclaim the seat from incumbent MP Hiram Lewis.
Ms. Gibson is an excellent candidate. She has a stellar record of community service, and she is the perfect person for the job.
The association's chairman also did not shy away from addressing its fractured relationship with Lewis, who severed ties with the FNM, saying support from that body was no longer clear.
He was not, I would say, a good fit for politics per se. You know what? We don't want to talk about the past. We don't want to talk about the past.
Yes,
we had that experience. It was not an enjoyable experience.
Back in Elizabeth, the Eastern New Providence constituency is shaping up to be a major showdown, with Heather Hunt set to face incumbent JoBeth Colby Davis. Hunt making her return to frontline politics over a decade after her defeat in the Marathon constituency.
The people are ready for change. They're tired of PR.
And in Pinewood, a historic swing constituency, political newcomer Denari Roll says he's prepared to take on incumbent MP Miles LaRota and Coalition of Independence leader Lincoln Bain.
I will assure the people of Pinewood that you are a man of action.
Last evening, the Free National Movement's rollout of its latest set of candidates, of course, ahead of the 2026 general election. Listen, some strong words by each candidate that you all heard there a moment ago. I'll tell you, it was a strong rollout, just based on those interviews even last evening. Ellington, your thoughts on how first of all, what these new matchups are looking like. You see the constituencies and who was nominated where to be where. And so your thoughts.
It is an interesting series of events that's taking place. I'm watching this checkers game, and I've seen better checkers players before. These moves are kind of are not the best for the party. I heard the Honorable Michael Pintard try to explain something, and he alluded to a member of the PLP, Dr. Davel, moving from Grand Bahama to Nassau. Obviously, we all know Dr. Davel was in Grand Bahama, and he did very well in Nassau. He won his seat. Hopefully, I'm not sure the same thing will pan out in this situation, because...
Or perhaps it might. If it worked out for Dr. Davel.
It worked out for Dr. Davel. It will be good for them if it does. But people are going to begin, because the party has so much of that happening. He made the comparison with Dr. Davila, one person, but right now to see this amount of movement from one area to the next is kind of very concerning for voters going to look, and people, it appears that they're running. I heard Dr. Sands said that the Heather Hunt is going to be a formidable force in Elizabeth. What you're saying, you're suggesting that you weren't a formidable force. And you're leaving Elizabeth after making several attempts. You represented them once. And you're going into Bamboo Town. You're upsetting something down there with a former member who served 2 terms down there, willing to go again on the party ticket. Obviously, from all accounts, I heard that Renwood do intend to run. What is that going to do for the Free National Movement support? Is that going to split the vote? Is that going to cause a problem for the Free National Movement and make it easier for the Progressive Liberal Party's candidate? And you have that happening in some other areas that has not been officially announced for the Free National Movement also, members moving from one area to the next. How is that going to look? How is it going to appear to the voters as it relates to, is this group ready? Are they afraid? Are they running? Are they, what is happening? Does the PLP have them on the run? What is this all about?
Well, Sinead, you know, I told you I didn't want to say anything, but I can say it anyway. You know, the Free National Movement is a nasty organization. They've been very nasty to me. And so I see them running up and down and all that, but I think I should say it. You know, my dealings with the Free National Movement this time in 2012, they were very, very nasty. And I don't think that they should be government because the leadership of the party, they don't. You remember the Free National Movement created the COI. The Free National Movement, all the rebel voices over there, it was a result of rebellion against the Free National Movement. Because the way they treat people, they think human beings are this expendable. You could put them where you want, treat them how you want. And in my case, you know, like 2012, I ran with the Free National Movement. The negotiations we had prior to that was that if we lose, I was to get the first choice as a Senate. And Senator, when the time came, Carl Bettel and them said, oh, everything we negotiated went out the window with the elections. And Cassius Stewart has no institutional knowledge to sit as an F&M senator. In other words, I'm not welcome into their club.
Wow. Yeah, so but Cassius, so you are musing over bitter grapes because after all, you went back. Weren't you seeking a nomination this time?
So now Michael is my friend. So Michael's been my friend for 30 years. We've been friends. And I said, listen, he's my friend. I can work with my friend. And I said to Michael, Michael, let me tell you something. You're my friend. The last time I fooled around with y'all screw me. Don't do this to me the next time. Oh, no. Let me tell you something. So we were supposed to work in Central and Saudi Lutra. They had a vote in Central and Saudi Lutra. I won the vote. The association sent a letter into the headquarters that I'm the official candidate. You know what they say? We don't care what the association say. You bring them into Lutra and pick one girl and say, this is who we want.
Wow.
And so the I'm telling you, the rule was, they said to ministers can't run because ministers don't go to their classes. 11 weeks worth of stupid classes they had, right? Ministers couldn't run because, but then I had to do it. I sat 11 weeks worth of a dumb class and spent $200.
Cassius, is this the show?
No, I'm telling you, my problem, I tell you what happened, I'm telling you. And so I gotta talk. So I did their classes. The girl didn't do the classes, but you say ministers can't run, but she could run. I said to them, how do you expect to be the government of the Bahamas when you can't even follow your own rules? How do you expect people to respect you when you can't respect yourself? And so how do you expect for me to respect you? And I tell them, listen, Cassius Stewart, you can't pee on me and expect me to smile. I ain't built that way. I can stand up and I can fight for what is right. If you treat me bad, I can tell you that. I ain't gonna say, oh, I'm the party supporter. Oh, I can stand. I don't stand in line, buddy. If you treat me good, I can treat you good.
But are you just upset because you were not given?
Hell yeah!
But Cassius, so you can't bring that. Cassius.
You think I'm upset? I'm damn upset.
Cassius, okay, but you cannot bring that argument to this tonight.
Oh, well, sorry. Let's talk what we're talking about then. We're talking about, oh, I like Heather. Heather's my girl. What else are we talking about? But I just wanted you to know my situation because anything with the Free National Movement, they're a very nasty organization for me. That's just my opinion. They're a very nasty organization. They should not be government.
Glenroy?
Well, obviously, the man has expressed himself. He's not bringing sexy back to the F&M. I think.
Hold on, no. Let me tell you about. So hold on, Glenroy.
This is way beyond the headlines.
Let me tell you something. So when I made that statement, right? Let me tell you what really happened, right? I was running. Me and Loretta was deputy, and I said, I'm a challenger for deputy. Do you know that they call in? I made a statement to the Tribune. They call in. The Tribune, the reporter said to me, Cassius, I didn't know how that sexy thing came in because the report I wrote was different from what they came out the next morning. So whoever in the F&M had mojo with the Tribune or whatever the paper was, they switched the whole thing up and they tried to make me look bad talking about sexy. I never said nothing like that.
But aren't you sexy?
I know I'm sexy. But I didn't say what they say I said.
Yeah, you don't have
and
to.
So,
Right.
and so every time I fool around with the F&M, they really piss me off. So I don't have nothing to do.
Cassius is angry on this panel tonight.
Yeah, I'm rather angry.
Yeah, you
so
angry.
I want them to expel me. I understand they expel me and my children, my grandchildren, my great-great-grandchildren, to make sure they'll ever be a part of that organization. That's a dangerous organization.
Cassius, let me tell you something. Cassius, you cannot bring your personal experience.
Why I'm personal? I mean, everything you do is personal. I mean, if they hate me, I got to tell you. I mean, the people want to know why, whatever, right?
Glenroy?
Amen.
Well,
Glenroy, let's talk.
reality
Sorry.
is, listen, I mean, the parties have a right to make whatever decisions they want to make. And obviously, sometimes we may not find favor in the decisions that they make, but they have the right to make the decision. There is a philosophy that the majority of voices, if they agree on a particular thing, that is the direction that you go in. And so when that majority of voices decide that maybe you are not the right person at the time, then you have to accept. That doesn't mean that the party is bad. It just means that at this time is not your time.
Glenroy, stop that, man.
It's just the reality of life. You know, listen,
Glenroy, you have a point, because Cassius could have been a true member if he believes in the ideals of the Glenroy.
You think I foolish shit.
Glenroy, you are right. Cassius could have waited in line.
Wait in line. Who look like? You think I look like Santa Claus?
You can't let your ego get ahead of you. Go ahead, Glenroy. Go ahead.
So there's a reality that, listen,
in
order to become leader, you have to serve, right? And sometimes that it takes servant leadership to take place. Sometimes our ambition sometimes causes us to be held back. Sometimes we have to know when to not thrust ourselves forward. Sometimes we have to accept the realities that exist in an environment that we believe that we have more to give in. That's just the reality of life. And sometimes when it doesn't go our way, because of our ambitions, we may show a different disposition. Sometimes we have to look at ourselves as well, you know? So listen, it ain't always be favorable to anybody when you want to be a particular individual in a particular party, all right? But sometimes you just have to accept as time progresses.
I mean, we lost the whole, listen, let me wrap this up.
I'm sorry.
The question was this. What was the question again? The question was what y'all thought of the nominations and where they were nominated.
Yeah, we get thrown off course.
But listen, there's something exciting to talk about, eh? The nomination really was flat.
You could have said
it was really flat and really nothing to talk about.
Glenroy, I believe that's his personal feelings again, getting in the ring.
But it wasn't nothing to talk about. I mean, really, because what could I probably say? Oh, Heather going and Elizabeth, this one going and Bamboo John. What could I possibly say about that? I mean, ain't really nothing to say. But what you really need to say is who's good and who's bad. I mean, they make you feel like the PLP is bad and so on and so. You know, really and truly, for me, Glenroy, it is personal. Everything is personal to everybody. And people,
I get it. I understand.
You know, everything is personal. And listen, you can't slap me and expect me to smile. You can't pee on me and tell me call it rain. No, I am built differently. There are a lot of people who can't do that. I can't do that. Cassius can't do that. And so if you treat me bad, I can tell you about it. And so God built me different from y'all who could take punishment and take slap. I can't do that, Glenroy. So look like they slap you up and tell you you can stand there. I can't do that. I'm sorry.
But you can't put yourself in the position to be used as a toilet.
And that's why I ain't there.
Did he do that, Glenroy?
And that's why I tell him.
Cassius put himself in the position to be used as a toilet bowl. That's the question.
And that's why I run. I said, you can't fool me. You fool me, I can punch you.
No, but see, understand, like I said, at the end of the day, you know, back to what Shanique was originally asked, I think it's strategic.
Glenroy, what you thought about last night?
The party is making strategic moves to ensure that they have a victory, and I think that's a wise thing.
Victory there, son. Ain't no
if
victory
something
there.
isn't working, you try something else.
Forget Cassius. Glenroy, what you thought about last evening?
Glenroy already spoke. I don't know what he... Leave Glenroy. Glenroy, we'll pick this up. In fact, temperature check is tomorrow night, Glenroy. I'll see you tomorrow evening.
Yes.
Listen, Cassius Stewart, you said you were not going to say one word.
But listen,
Heather
Shanique, Captain Walker, Police Officer Sanders on the flight today, saying let me tell you hello.
Bahamas Air.
Bahamas Air,
the
best airline in the world.
Call their names again real quick.
You got the flight attendant Kevin Davel, Karen Cooper, and Bernice Roll. First Officer Sanders and Captain Walker from Flight 204 say hello from beyond the headlines. We love you all. Merry Christmas.
Cassius on the highway.
And listen, all the staff from the immigration, the customs, and all y'all, we love you all. TSA, we love you all from beyond the headlines.
Thank you all for watching. Don't go anywhere. We're going to pick up from where we left. Well, no, we're shifting gears to the Union and BTC after the break. Stay close.
The Bahamas is the premier destination for fly fishing because of its unique geography.
We've got the third largest barrier reef in the world in the Bahamas.
We have the largest aggregation of mangroves in the Western Hemisphere.
Which simply means we've got the largest marine biodiversity than anywhere else in the world.
I am unapologetic about Bahamians being owners in our #1 industry.
We should not just say, we should have it enacted into certain policies.
The Bahamas Fly Fishing Industry Association was instrumental in the 2017 sports fishing legislation. Anyone fishing in the Bahamas who's going to be guiding has to be certified and licensed, and thirdly, they have to be a Bahamian.
And that is historic in that a model of conservation and a model for Bahamianization has been legislated, the only one in the country.
But it also gives Bahamians the opportunity with a sense of pride to know that at the end of the day, I'm contributing to the development of my country and something they can pass on for generations.
The out island of Bahamas, there are no other alternative industry that generates the kind of revenue that fly fishing does. The entire community benefits.
I would always encourage the tourists, people who want to fish, hire a local guide.
The guides in the Bahamas are some of the best trained fly fishing guides in the world. You know it because you see the results in terms of the kinds of fishing they're doing. They're catching the largest bonefish, the largest tarpon, largest permit. That is unique. So this is the lure to all the anglers internationally coming who thinks of the Bahamas as #1 destination for fly fishing in saltwater.
I'm really excited about this initiative that SPTC has brought forth for the fishermen.
If you have great guides and terrible boats and engines and nothing working and all this, you could be the best in the world. And people still have a terrible experience because they could not have a good day on the water.
I think one of the greatest things is to have access to quality capital. But not only having access to the capital, but terms and conditions related to the capital, so we encourage growth and expansion of the industry and professionalism within the industry because of the resources being at hand and having proper guidance.
It'll be a greater impact and they'll have a better experience.
And I foresee it being an opportunity that the guides are taking advantage of in terms of the opportunities for education, awareness, and resources. You always need to advise people, inform them, and then equip them. And so I think this process is essential because it allows the skill sets that are needed in a changing economy and environment, how they could then keep up with operating their small business.
It's a Holy Frosty Christmas and Wendy's and Coke is bringing the chill. This year, when you upgrade any Wendy's combo to a large, you can instantly win big with the Upgrade and Win Christmas giveaway. We're talking travel gift cards, gadgets, holiday treats, and prizes that make your Holy Frosty Christmas shine. Just upgrade your favorite lunch combo, scan the QR code on your receipt to enter and let the holiday magic begin. Enjoy great tasting food and win big this Christmas with Wendy's and Coca-Cola's Upgrade and Win. Rules and restrictions apply.
I feel good when you're wrapped up in my arms, dancing to a reggae song. Feel good, feel good. I feel good, cause your perfume isn't loud, and only I can talk about. Feel good, feel good. You feel like velvet rubbing over my skin, and when you're
Beyond the Headlines is now introducing powerful TV advertising opportunities made just for you. Choose our television ad package, 20 30-second ads for $2,000 or 20 60-second ads for $2,500 plus VAT. Prefer flexibility? Go a la carte. Just $150 for a 30-second ad or $200 for a 60-second ad. Step into the spotlight with our interview package. One 15-minute interview for $500 or 4 for $15 per month. Or bring Beyond the Headlines directly to you with our live on location package, only $2,600 plus VAT. For more information, contact our sales agent at 242-466-6173.
This segment is brought to you by EV Motors Fleet Sales Division. For 2026 commercial vehicles, call 821-2403 today.
Welcome back to Beyond the Headlines. It's good to have you all tuned in. As I said before the break, we will be shifting gears. And so here's this story for you this evening as we move the show forward. The BTC executives are responding and breaking their silence tonight. It comes after they say and suggest that they're being wrongfully dragged through the mud by disgruntled members while still respecting the rights of those members to demonstrate. We get the story from Jose Etienne, and then we come back and speak with the union representatives.
It's not a war between us and our union partners.
That sums up the position BTC executives have taken on the heels of a demonstration on Monday by union leaders representing BTC managers and staffers.
You hear the general allegation that there is a violation of the industrial agreement, but never a delineation of what those instances of violation can be.
It's the second protest held since this summer, and union leaders say their issues remain the same. One of them being claims that workers are being wrongfully fired. But BTC executive Tamika Colbrook says that is far from the truth.
Those were all terminations with cause, and we have never taken this position that the company will retaliate or in any way prohibit anybody's freedom of expression and speech.
Yesterday's protest was held in front of their Poinciana Avenue office. Union heads say their members were left deserted in poor working conditions at that center, a similar complaint they've made about the Propal Tract office. But those are claims executives say they're tearing to shreds.
Notwithstanding two separate reports declaring that building fit for occupation, because there has been still pushback, the company has not, out of deference for our relationship and working to address whatever concerns the union may have for that with regard to that facilities, not fully open that for occupation.
Nonetheless, the unions say they're digging in for a long-term dispute until it's resolved. But BTC executives are emphasizing their open-door policy.
We are always available and we're open to come to the table to make a better, more viable resolution for their members, our employees.
He's executive responding to yesterday's protest. The union insists that there's a lot that remains unaddressed and that there are some things that needs to even be brought to light further. Joining me now is the president of the BCPOU. She's joined by Mark White, who is the Secretary General of the Bahamas Communications and Public Managers Union. Good evening to both of you. Welcome to Beyond the Headlines. It's great to have you both here.
Good evening. Good evening, Shanique, and good evening, Bahamas.
Good evening, Shanique. Good evening, Bahamas.
BTC says it is willing to work with the union. It is willing to address many, if not all, of the outstanding issues that they have. They are not standing in the way of membership through the union, or rather their employees through the union, speaking out and asking for different matters to be addressed. Where is this sort of standoff happening, and why? Why is the union being antagonistic?
Shanique, listen to me. These people don't want to play with me, you know. They don't want to play with me. Listen. First off, let me tell you, because this liabilities look like they're spreading in BTC, right? Executive management. They're
allegedly, Shirley, you can't call the people liars.
Listen, I didn't say they liars, you know. I said liability spreading.
Okay,
That's what I said. That's an illness and it's spreading.
Jesus.
Okay? We got a call from the Director of Labor, right? Talking about that same building in Poinciana that they talk about two reports that they got. The Director of Labor said to me, President Benjamin, I know you are insisting on seeing a report. You know, your guest earlier, Cassia said, you don't pee on him and tell him it's raining. You don't do that to me either, right? You don't pee on me and tell me it's raining. What they did was they got those reports and they told they had the persons who would have sent those reports just tell us that the results came back good. If you send tests away, you did the test. We were there when you did the test. Mm-hmm. You send those tests away. You got the results back. Show us the results. Don't tell us the results came back good. We had the Director of Labor call me and ask me if I would be prepared to sign a confidentiality agreement so that in his presence, we could view the test, but not disclose whatever the results of the test was. Me with my dumb self agreed. I still didn't see the test results yet. I agreed to sign this confidentiality agreement.
So
something in the milk stinks. I don't want them to play with me. They have a myriad of health and safety issues.
At the Ponciana.
And they don't want me, not just Ponciana, every building in BTC. And just today at 1:28, the new director of human resources sent an email to me, listed confidential and what it is? Not private and confidential. Whatever it is, but basically it's supposed to be confidential. I will send that email to the press, because what you ain't gonna do, BTC, is make Sherry, Diane, Roll Brown, Benjamin out to be a liar. Take that from me. I will take all of the emails, all of the pictures, all of the evidence, and send them to the press. They ain't gonna play with me. This ain't the time to do this. This is not the time. If you want us to come to the table, get us to the table. Liberty, take your people in hand, get them together, and make them do right by your employees, because we gonna have an all-out war. They are not gonna play with me. Ain't no one gonna make me out to be a liar.
Mark, what is the real issue here? BTC is saying one thing, but you all, the union, are insisting and unflinching in your position of what needs to be addressed. Sherry say among them is seeing the report because the buildings are unsafe to work in.
Well, Shanique, if what they were saying was true, we wouldn't have been here right now talking to the general public of the issues, the myriad of issues that are happening at BTC. Okay, what they do well is PR and cover up. The union has been quiet to try and do paper diplomacy, where we try to hash out issues before they come to the general public, and that fell on deaf ears. Okay, so if what they were saying was true, or any truth to that, we would not have been here right now telling the general public as to the myriad of issues that are happening within that organization. And everything that they're saying is false.
How do you come to some middle ground? Because, and I was happy to have the executive, the spokesperson, on before you all started speaking. But Sherry has been speaking out, protesting, even appearing on this show quite a number of times this year, raising awareness. I think you even protested outside the Prime Minister's office recently, yeah? Yes. And so how do you get to the table to be able to address so that everyone, executive management, union and employees, are in a more cohesive environment?
Well, we've tried the diplomatic route. We've tried to sit at the table as equals. We've tried to point out issues. We've given them an opportunity to correct those issues. They have failed to do so. And it's about time. We're sick and tired of being tired and sick. And now is the time for action. And unless our issues are fully addressed, we will continue to bring those matters to the public attention. The government owns 49 plus 2%, and we will bring those matters wherever they occur. We have issues with rat infestation, molds, buildings with, you have sunroof where you could see the sun and the stars at night, security issues. These are fundamental issues, safety issues that we are very concerned with our members. LLA is an American company. What they do in the U.S., what they can't do in the U.S., they try to do here in the Bahamas, and we say no. Mm-hmm. Enough is definitely enough.
Which you say it's 49% government, 51% obviously the company you just mentioned.
No, it's 49%, 49% government, 49% LLA, and then 2% is supposed to be in trust for the people of the Bahamas. So that's when we refer to it, we say 49 plus 2. The government of the Bahamas is responsible for that 49 plus 2%.
Now, which ministry does BTC fall under?
I honestly, I can't say, But what I will tell you this.
Because then who is passing the buck?
No.
Who is not addressing
Listen.
the issues that you all continue to lament on? I mean, I think you've been talking about these issues, Sherry, now for this entire year.
Exactly, and listen to me. I want everybody to understand. I have spent 39, I can really think of 39 years of my life, my whole youth, working in BTC. I don't want anyone to believe that I'm trying to bring the company down that is responsible for me being where I am and who I am today. Educating my children, putting me in the home that I'm living in, the car that I'm driving. BTC did that for me. I am not trying to bring BTC down. I want BTC to do right by the people. They said that they fired the persons with cause. Show us the cause. We have Article 6 in our industrial agreement, 6.3 in our industrial agreement says that if there is a grievance, they are supposed to show us the evidence or present the evidence to the union before the grievance, at the beginning of the grievance. We've been sitting, they took us to the Department of Labor, where they said that we were supposed to be in a conciliation meeting. They were supposed to present the evidence to the Director of Labor and the Chief Labor Consultant, where they would have properly followed the guidelines of the industrial agreement. We are still waiting. They were cited in that meeting by the Director of Labor and the Chief Labor Consultant, and I'm sure you would see that in the Tribune, I think it was, where Mr. Evans would have said so much in the article that was in the Tribune, where he said that BTC was in breach of both industrial agreements. We're not here to sit down and lie. I don't have time to waste. And my pastor probably watching this show, so I definitely want her to see me sitting back and lying on nobody. She teach me better than that. Mm-hmm. I don't have time to waste. I am here defending the rights of my members. They did not follow no process. What they did, and I keep saying it.
Right.
What they did was they, as a police would go and do an investigation, and after the investigation, they're supposed to charge the person, take them before the courts, and let the courts make the decision to whether they're guilty or innocent, and then send them to jail. What they did is they did their investigation, and then they send them straight to jail. That's it. No hearing, no nothing, no giving them no opportunity to defend themselves. They called the people in the meeting. They had at least 15 people that they would have interviewed. At least 15 people would interview. They never said to none of those persons that they interviewed that you were suspected of dereliction of duties. So why is it that if you have a grievance process, they tried that with me 2 weeks ago. I sent them back a letter and I said to them, why you want to have this meeting? Tell me what is the process for this meeting? What is the purpose of this meeting? Because I don't want a repeat of October 2nd. They quickly changed the status of the meeting. Come on, man, they got to do better.
But is the union, do you think the union is being as open-minded in order that progress happens? Because if BTC feels that those people, the 15, were rightly let go after their investigation.
They were not. And they don't want us to come out and actually say everything what happened, but they were not rightly let go. And see, the thing is, what I want them to do is to be straight up and be honest and upfront. We're prepared to sit to the table with them, It's them who don't want to sit to the table with us. And it's them who is going around and trying to deflect. They know they did wrong. They know they cannot produce the evidence. Tell them produce the evidence. They said they followed the industrial agreement. We could show them they didn't. Tell them produce the evidence. Then the Director of Labor told them that they were in violation. The Chief Labor Consultant said they were in violation. We said they were in violation, so all of us lying? Come on, man. Tell them do better.
Well, I know you're not going to go
do
quiet.
Better.
You all will not go and sit quietly.
We're not.
I imagine we will hear
and
more.
We're calling on the persons who are responsible for the 49.2% to get themselves together. These are people's lives who are being held in the balance. This October 2nd, this is now almost January 2nd. We need closure to this. We need closure before this escalate into something more than what it is. We need closure.
I'm sure
Help
we'll
us
hear-
get the closure we need.
I'm sure we'll hear so much more about this as you all continue to agitate for the closure that you're asking for. Sherry, I thank you. I mean, you've been here several times addressing many issues. Thank you again. Also, Mark, for being here this evening. To both of you, thanks for being here. Also to the guests, my panelists at the top of tonight's show, Cassia Stewart, Ellington Ferguson, Glenroy Pratt, thank you as well. And a big thank you to all of you for tuning in this evening. It's certainly awesome having you join us. We look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow evening. For the entire Beyond the Headlines team, I'm Shanique Miller. Make it a great evening, everyone.